Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to be unpacking something truly profound today. We're looking at a deeply philosophical text, one that actually has its roots in Khmer language and thought, that acts as a perfect mirror for our minds. It's incredibly short, literally just 3 sentences long, but wow, it packs an entire psychological framework for dealing with our absolute toughest mental battles. We're going to look closely at every single word to understand how we can use this for our everyday emotional well-being.
Okay, let's dive into this with the very first sentence. Cultivate good wishes for yourself and others. I really want you to focus on that first word, cultivate. It's not just about finding or stumbling upon good wishes. Cultivating is like gardening, right? It takes real effort, constant watering, and deliberate care. And what exactly are we cultivating? Good wishes. But notice the duality that's set up right away here. It's not just about being nice to others or just focusing on yourself. The instruction splits into 2 clear directions, inward toward ourselves and outward toward everyone else.
Section 1. The power of compassion. We live in a fast-paced, highly reactive, and often critical world, so we desperately need a tool to handle it. Let's look at the full text. Cultivate good wishes for yourself and others. Having compassion for yourself helps reduce self-blame and depression. Having compassion for others helps reduce anger, jealousy, and hatred. Just take a second to really let those 3 sentences sink in. Notice the beautifully parallel structure the author uses here. The first sentence lays out the 2 principles. The second sentence tackles the internal battles. And the third sentence, that handles the external conflicts. It is a perfectly balanced equation. It basically says that every mental struggle we face, whether it's from our own thoughts or from interacting with the world, has a specific, targeted solution. The key here is how we define compassion or good wishes in this context. A lot of times we kind of just think of compassion as this soft, warm, passive feeling. But according to our source, compassion is highly active. It's defined by what it actually does. It's the ultimate antidote. It's a tool that actively reduces destructive, negative emotions. It's not just a nice thought, it is a direct neutralizing agent for depression, jealousy, and hatred. Think of it like biological antibodies, but for your psychological immune system.
Section 2. Having compassion for yourself. Let's be honest for a second. How often are we our own worst enemies? Section 3. Reducing blame and depression.
Before we can even begin to deal with the outside world, we have to look inward. Is the harshest critic usually the voice inside your own head? The author acknowledges that this internal struggle is very real, and especially when looking at the original Khmer roots of these concepts, the weight of these emotions is incredibly profound. We're talking about the dark clouds that gather in the mind, self-blame and depression. Self-blame is that constant internal critic telling you you're not good enough, that every mistake is a permanent stain. And depression is often the crushing weight that follows when that self-blame goes completely unchecked. So the crucial point is, the direct cure for this internal sabotage is self-compassion. It means looking at your flaws and offering yourself the exact same immediate forgiveness you'd give a best friend. Building this inner compassion literally breaks the cycle of self-blame and helps lift the fog of depression.
Section 4. Having compassion for others. Section 5. Eliminating anger and hatred. You know, you can't pour from an empty cup. Once you've applied the antidote of compassion to heal your internal wounds, you're finally ready for your relationship with the outside world. If the internal struggle is like a self-implosion, the external struggle is an explosion. It's the friction between people. Notice the specific words chosen here: anger, jealousy, and hatred. Anger is that immediate, fiery reaction when we feel wronged. Jealousy is that toxic, comparative mindset that literally steals our joy when we look at what others have. And hatred? Well, that's the chronic, deep-rooted form of anger that just rots the mind over time. The text argues that outward compassion is the only thing that turns down the heat on this friction. When you look at someone who wronged you or someone you're jealous of, and you actively cultivate good wishes for them, it is biologically and psychologically impossible to hold on to hatred at the exact same time. Compassion is the detox. And this brilliantly illustrates the entire structure of the text. On the left side, we have oneself, where compassion reduces self-blame and depression. And on the right side, we have others, where compassion reduces anger, jealousy, and hatred. It's an amazing juxtaposition. You've got personal, silent pain on one side and loud conflict with others on the other. 2 completely different realms of human suffering, balanced perfectly. Which brings us to the absolute biggest takeaway from our text.
Compassion is the single key to both of these locks. Why does this matter for you today? Because we so often try to solve our problems with a dozen complicated strategies, right? We read one book for self-esteem and try completely different methods for dealing with difficult people. But this tiny, brilliant philosophy offers a unified theory for emotional well-being. Whether the threat is coming from an internal critic or an external enemy, the neutralizing action is exactly the same. Actively, intentionally cultivating good wishes. As we wrap up our exploration today, I want to leave you with one simple question. Have you cultivated compassion today? Remember that word, cultivate. It demands your active participation. Your mind needs tending to. Whether it's giving yourself a little grace for a mistake you made this morning or silently wishing well to the person who just cut you off in traffic, the opportunity to use this dual power is always right in front of you. Thanks for joining me to unpack this incredible text. Keep learning, keep cultivating, and I'll catch you next time.